Radio Show also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair, from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. So call Two Eagles Auto Body and ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527. The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than it would help if I had the mic in front of my face. Hi, everybody. It's Thursday. It's because we're showing this on Thursday, so we're going to be confused with that. I have a feeling it's because
you already told me it's Thursday.
Yeah, I'm glad you're so, because I'm definitely going to screw that up. Welcome everybody, Knockem Dead Comedy Show coming at you from the legendary Governor's Comedy Club here on Gov's Comedy Club podcast. I am very excited today. Debra Markowitz is here, ladies and gentlemen. Debra Markowitz is here.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Good. Well, and I'm happy you're here. I have heard from so many people nothing but great things about you.
Thank you.
And I mean that. I've heard that from a lot of different people. I actually thought, because when I reached out to you to come in, you wrote, "Nice to meet you." And I don't know where or when, but I would swear we've already met. And I'll be honest with you, your husband, he looks so damn familiar to me. And I would swear I know him from somewhere, but
maybe you were here when we filmed one day, because we filmed here a lot of
have
movies
you filmed
and whatever.
A lot?
So maybe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that's it.
That could be it. Mm-hmm. And that's a perfect segue, because that's the first thing I wanted to ask, because you recently filmed in here.
Yes. Yeah.
And I saw Joe Carletto was in it.
Yes.
So let's talk. How bad was Joe in whatever role he played?
Joe is amazing. You can't make fun of Joe in front of me. Joe is the best.
I can make fun
He's
of him.
been in actually a few of my movies, but this last thing, he is a guy whose girlfriend is getting insulted because of the music she has on the jukebox.
Oh.
So basically, he stands up to tell the guy, apologize to my girlfriend. And the guy's like, yeah, no problem, turns around, and Dennis Newman is twice Joe's size, stands up next to him. And then that's kind of the comedy in the situation.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, is this for a couple of guys?
That's for the series Couple of Guys.
I was praying that you were going to tell me Joe was playing a gay man.
No, he's not gay, though. He's not gay.
I know, but I was hoping. Well, so you say. No, I'm kidding. I was praying Joe was, playing a part in a gay bar, hitting on the main character. I would have been picking on him for the next year on that.
Sorry.
It's all right. I'll let it slide this time.
Okay.
He is, Joe is the nicest guy in the world.
I agree.
Not a negative thing to say about him. He's truly, he's technically my boss around here, but he's like a brother to me. We've had so many great times, some fights, some laughs. We've made love once or twice. No, I'm kidding.
You're getting carried away with the bar thing over there.
Just love that guy. So now, how do you know Joe? Like, did you, because you filmed in here, you just threw him in, or?
I met Joe. I'm trying to remember if he got involved with our film festival first, because I'm one of the founders of the Long Island International Film Expo, going on 27 years.
Wow.
And at one point, I know we were connected that way. And I think that was first. And then I cast and produced my first movie called My Cross to Bear.
Right.
And Joe was one of the actors in it.
Right,
so
right.
I got to know him that way after already knowing him a different way.
Okay.
And he's just phenomenal. Whenever I need something or help with one of my films, he just jumps right in. He's awesome.
Yeah. He will deny it, but he enjoys being in front of that camera.
Oh, he loves it, and he's very good at it.
He is very good at it. I've done a few projects with him, and he's been in here a number of times. It's so funny to me because I get so many feedback from the people who watch the show. They're always I get more requests to bring him back, I think, than anybody else.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not a comedian. He owns the club, but he's not a comedian. But he is so funny. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just love that man.
Yeah.
All right, so we're talking about some of your projects. You've mentioned a few. You mentioned the film festival. In fact, you even posted the other day, that you're in the middle of writing a project called Waitlist.
Yes.
While directing and filming and everything else. Do you sleep?
I don't sleep
Yeah, I didn't
anywhere
think
enough.
so.
I had a lot of Visine this morning because it was kind of scary, but I really don't sleep enough. I would like to sleep more, but especially like with Waitlist, we did it as a short film.
Right.
Loved it, loved the actors. And I'm the kind of person, when I write something, I always want to see what the actors were doing, what the characters were doing before, and what the characters are doing after, even if it never makes it into the script.
Sure.
So I started doing that with Waitlist, and then all of a sudden it became a feature film, and I literally wrote the feature script in 5 days because
Wow.
it just so much started coming to me, and I'm like,
Right.
oh, fine. Or I go to sleep and go, oh, that happens next, and then run in my office and start
Right.
writing. So, I don't sleep enough, but I do a lot.
Yeah, and it's I love when that happens because I write a little bit, and but whether it's writing or just planning the show or planning something in the studio, same thing. I'll go to bed and I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like, and so I'm mad that I'm not sleeping, but at the same time I'm like, all right, but this is good. And I'll grab the phone and I'll just put it all in.
I was going to say that. I have pages and pages of to-dos in my to-do list.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have to-dos on my to-do list in different categories. But,
Right. I have to check it every morning, or sometimes at night when I'm going to bed, I'll check to see what I forgot to do.
right. Yeah,
It's
yes,
crazy.
that too.
Yeah, because you're nonstop. So you mentioned the film festival. I have all my notes here. Not I don't want you to think I'm stalking. These all aren't you. It's just
That's
the
okay.
one.
I'm very stalkable. Don't worry about it.
Is that right?
Luckily, I got rid of the real creepers, but we're okay.
Wow. Yeah. Well. Yeah. That's a whole different show. Talking about how stalkable you are. Huh? So you got the international Intention Films.
Right.
The film festival, the author, director. I mean, there's just so much here. Let's start with Intention Films. Tell us what that is.
Okay, well, Intention Films and Media basically is my production company.
Right.
It's a small production company. We do our own projects, but I'm also hired to direct and write and produce for other people. My husband is a director of photography, and he also is a great assistant director and whatnot. So basically, we're out doing other people's stuff. We work together. We work not together. But it was important to me that I tell stories, because I think at the heart of everything is that I'm a storyteller.
Okay.
So if there's a great story there, I can create a whole world around it. And Intention Films was because I feel that you should go into things with the right intention.
Okay.
It's like if you have a film festival, you don't want to be there just to get in front of the camera and just to push the filmmakers aside. You're doing it because you want to help the filmmakers.
Oh, okay.
If you're making a movie, it's not that there's not, a certain ability in comedy, because there certainly is. But almost every one of my films has a story behind it if you look deep enough.
Okay.
And the ones that sometimes aren't necessarily the most popular, but that is the most important, are a film that I'll show at a film festival and someone will come up to me and say, thank you, because I didn't know what happened. For example, I have a movie called The Waiting Room, and it's I wrote it as part of a 72-hour challenge in 2 hours, and it's about a woman who is waiting in heaven or purgatory, whatever you want to call it, for her husband to come up, but he shows up with his second wife.
Oh, wow.
And then there's
That's
all
great.
the stories that go on behind that. And we did it in one day, as I said, 72-hour challenge. I had it completely done in 72 hours. It was a nightmare, not sleeping at all for 3 days. But it tells a story that really reverberates with a lot of people. It resonates with them.
Sure.
And so there's a lot of that kind of stuff that I do. And then I do things like The Last Taxi Driver, which is a zombie comedy, which, was my first film, completely different. But my heart is at those very, the emotions.
Sure. Yeah. A little side bit, the 72-hour challenge. Actor Ray Abruzzo, I don't know if you know, he played Little Carmine on The Sopranos. That's probably his biggest claim to fame.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
I don't know.
I know the name, and I'm
Okay.
sure that I would know him if I
Yeah,
saw
you'd
him.
probably know his face. We had him on once, and he was talking about the 72-hour challenge. He did it once. And yeah, he talked about just how crazy it was.
It's insane.
And he ended up filming something. It wasn't just one room. I mean, outside and driving shots, but they did it all in one. They didn't turn the camera off. They just did. It was a full. If I watched it, I want to say it was, I think, like an hour.
Oh my God.
It was. Yeah.
Ours had to be under, I think, 15 minutes, and mine was 12. But I did it from soup to nuts, if you will. I assume that if you're going to make a film, it needs to be completely finished. So it's not like it was missing the score. It's not like it was a rough thing. I had it completely done in 72 hours. And when we showed it, it's like, oh, a lot of these aren't finished. I have a composer in Italy who was like, do me a favor, can you do this for $200?
Right.
Did it overnight, and because I really wanted it to have the right score, so I'm waiting till like 3 a.m. to the film. Did it render yet? Is it there yet? So I can go on to the next stage of what needs to be done. So most people didn't do that. They finished it after, but I'm like psychotic, so I'm like, this is going to be done.
And I'm the same way. I don't want to put it out there unless it's right. So yeah, I'm the exact same way. And I would actually feel better about it. Like, oh, those people didn't even finish it.
Okay.
I'm done.
I'm done. That's right.
Look what I did. So I'm curious about the Intention Films. I act as well, and I jump on stage here. So I'm very intrigued by all this. So I have it here somewhere. Bear with me, because somewhere on the website. If you're a producer looking for a project, we have the projects. If you're looking for a script to option or produce, we have that too. Please note that we do not raise money and will only work on projects that are fully funded. So, yeah, I love to act, and in fact, I just produced a short film 2 years ago. First time I ever did anything like that, and loved every second of it. But by producing it, I mean, like, I set up the sets, like I found the locations. Right. I made sure things were, on time. I made sure everybody was where they were supposed to be. I don't even know if that's what a producer is, but whatever you call it, I loved it. Yeah. So, but we did it with no budget, and we just kind of pushed our way through. Now your movies, and I'll be honest, I haven't seen, but I watch a lot of your trailers. Okay. I watch a lot, so I can, just by watching the trailers, you can tell they look like. They're not somebody's iPhone or bad VHS. They look like real movies. So how do you who gets the funding? Like the person that brings the script to you? Like, how does that work?
It depends. If it's somebody who's coming to me with their script, they're going to have to pay for everything because I
Okay.
can't fund somebody else's. I'm
Right.
worrying about my own. My very first film, The Last Taxi Driver, I had already been casting and producing for other people, but a friend of mine said, no, it's time for you to direct this. So I wrote this zombie comedy, and now it's not just a no-budget film because you need makeup and effects
Right.
and good makeup and effects.
Sure.
And basically, I called in so many favors.
Right.
You know, somebody who hadn't done effects before. I called in a team of filmmakers who just got out of college. They'd already been, I saw some of the films come through the film festival, so I knew they knew what they were doing.
Okay.
And basically, I got all of them for a ridiculous amount of money, but they were going to be able to work on a film with some named people, which they'd never done before. And like Robert Clahessy from Blue Bloods, who he plays Lieutenant Gormley on Blue Bloods,
Yeah.
he was in that, and he's been in several of my films since, but they got to work with him. And Deb Twist from Kick-Ass, she played the sexy science teacher.
Okay.
Emily Jackson from Incarnate, she's also a musician. So it was a really, really great experience for them. And I think at the time that cost me $12,000, and we're talking 10-something years ago, but
Holy
I
moly.
really wanted it to look great. I had to pay
Right.
the actors. We had a large crew because there was a lot to do.
Yeah.
So even though I got breaks from everybody, there was a lot of stuff that needed to be done. Now, I did that by crowdfunding. And the second film I did, Leaving, was only $9,000, smaller film, no effects. Brought in the same filmmakers, but paid them twice as much because, and it's still not a lot of money, but you know, whenever you do a little better, you have to help.
Absolutely right.
And we got that done, and that did very well. And then after that, I had met my husband, and I just said, I can't ask people for money anymore. So we decided to just fund that ourselves. And we run the whole gamut from films that we can do a film, depending how easy it is, in one day for maybe $1,500 or maybe $2,000, because post always almost costs more than film.
Oh, sure.
As far as The Only Woman in the World, which was my first feature,
Right.
that we paid for ourselves. I think we might have done a little bit of crowdfunding to get off the ground, but I spoke to a couple of actor friends, and I said, look, I want to do this, but I can't do it yet. And it's hard to get a leading role as an actor unless you're a name.
Oh, sure.
So the leads all said to me, if you work with our schedules, we'll do it for free. Because we want to do it. This is a
Sure.
great story. So, you know, so we also decided, well, how else can we make this happen? So we reached out to people who didn't have a lot of experience and said, we will train you
Oh, wow.
if you will do this for free, or I ended up giving them $50 a day, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then somebody became a sound person, and somebody became a gaffer, and somebody became, so I think everybody except for the occasional gaffer, which is the electric guy.
Right.
Or electric woman, and the hair and makeup person, everybody else really jumped in to help. So it took us 6.5 months to do this.
Wow.
Because almost nobody's available for 3 weeks. That's okay.
Yeah.
Who can we get? And sometimes the only people on set were the two actors, me and my husband. And my husband's shooting it and doing sound.
Oh, my goodness.
But we got it done.
whatever it
And
takes, yeah.
And it's on Tubi and Prime Video and Memento and a bunch of other platforms.
And that looks like a good one. Looks like like I was thinking, because I was a teenager in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Before I could go out at night, Friday nights, I had to sit home with my mom while she was watching Dallas.
Uh-huh.
Like, I totally, like, there's a love triangle, and there was a scene the woman smacks the guy, and,
Yep.
and even the lead guy, not the husband, but
Kieran, yeah.
he kind of talks like this. He's all, he's got this going on. I was like,
Kieran Sheehan was actually one of Broadway's Phantom of the Opera. He
Oh,
was
no
Phantom
kidding.
of Opera. He was also in Les Mis,
Wow.
Marius and whatnot, but he was in Phantom of the Opera for like 300 performances.
Wow.
And now he travels around the world doing the Four Phantoms concerts with
Oh,
the other Phantoms.
yeah,
so
yeah.
he had been an actor when he was younger. He got into Broadway
Mm-hmm.
and kind of backed off from that to raise his kids when his kids were young.
oh, wow.
But as they got older and everybody's in college, he wanted to get back to acting. So he actually had come to a director to acting workshop I was doing for the New York Conservatory of Art in the city.
Yeah.
And he was doing sides. Now, sides are just basically parts of the script.
Right.
And I had given him the sides and gave him no background, and it was a scene from Leaving. He had never seen the movie. It wasn't out yet, and he just nailed it.
Wow.
And I said, do you even know what this is about? And he gave me an idea. I said, close, except flip these two characters. And I was so impressed with him that I ended up putting him in the feature, which he loved, because finally he's back in. He's in a couple
Right.
of guys also.
Oh, okay.
As like, the upstart bandmate who wants to go back on the road, even though they're all 50 and nobody
Right.
wants to do that anymore.
Right.
And so, he's been in a lot of my things, but yeah, he's awesome. And he's got that deep,
Yeah.
that deep voice.
Oh yeah, as soon as I heard, whoa.
I know.
Like, so many, like I don't know, he had like a Lee Majors thing going on.
Okay, well, he'd love that.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
who I thought of immediately. It was like a real, seems like an everyday guy, but if you
You don't want to mess with him.
exactly, so I was immediately scared, and then I saw the woman. Was it him that got smacked in? The woman was smacking
Chris
her husband.
Cardona, Chris Cardona plays the boyfriend, the love interest's longtime partner. She doesn't want to get married, but he's been around for a while, and he does something he shouldn't. And at one point, she just wallops him. And Chris he owns an acting studio out here.
Oh, wow.
He's an actor. He also is a stunt person.
Oh.
So that kind of worked out really well. We got to do some cool things with that.
Oh, that's cool. That's great. It's. And talking about, calling in favors and people working for free, that's one thing I love about, I don't know about anywhere else, but here on the island, I do find that for the most part, people are very supportive.
Yeah.
You're making a film, you can call this other filmmaker, hey, do you have this piece of equipment? Or can you help me for a day, holding the boom, whatever it is. And yeah, they are very supportive. At least that's, I don't know about your experience, but that's what I found.
The longer you do this, the less you actually almost feel comfortable. Not comfortable. You feel less comfortable like asking people to work for free. So
sure.
Even you throw them something. If they're brand new, and kind of nobody almost wants anyone brand new anymore because
Right.
sometimes it's a lot more work to get them to behave. But there's a few people we help each other out on our set. Somebody will call me, hey, I need casting. Who do you know? Who's the name? Who's whatever? And I'll work
Right.
with them. A lot of jobs I have to turn down. I just don't have time. But people will jump to whatever. Somebody will read my script who I know is a good writer, so they'll know if anything needs to be ironed out.
Right. Well, right. That's the thing exactly. People. So I'm surprised to hear you say that you're less comfortable with asking because you're on the island anyway. I don't know about anywhere else, but you're known. So I would think people would jump at the chance to do something with you.
They do.
Yeah.
We always feel like, even when we started with Only Woman in the World, first it was free, but then it's like, we got to throw them 25. We got to throw them $50. We got to, when you start
Right.
giving them something, and they're also getting the value of being trained.
Right. Right.
For the film we're doing now, I was not planning on doing a feature because I'm working on a feature that we're supposed to do next year that's much bigger than anything else I've done. And I should be concentrating on that.
Right.
But once I wrote this, I looked at my husband, I go, we have to do this. And we already know who the main actors are. And I called, and they're all getting paid, crew's all getting paid. And then I called a couple of names. So I'm kind of locking down a couple of nice names first too, who I've worked with before.
Okay.
And they're so happy to jump back in. So that's fun. It just helps you if you're going to do the festival circuit. Film can get in without a name, but sometimes
Right.
oh, wait, that's the lady from Blue Bloods. Oh,
Right.
that's the woman from this movie. Oh, and then it kind of gives a little bit of credibility.
Absolutely.
And then you get to help. You get to help other people. I know Travis was thrilled because I told him about 2 people are going to be in his scene, and he's like, "Whoa, how do you know that?" I said, "Because I've been working with them for 10 years."
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah. Travis. Why Travis is not bigger?
He will be.
Yeah. First of all, just that name alone.
I know, right?
Travis Grant.
Well, that's not really his name, but anyway.
Oh, is that right?
Travis is. I'm not saying anything. He'll kill me. I'm not saying.
I did not know that. Oh, wait till I see.
That's his real name.
Yeah, you're too late. Too late,
That's his
Debra
real name.
Markowitz.
I'm just. This is a comedy show, and
Oh, wait till I see. I see him on Monday.
Travis is his name. No, Travis is
All right.
his name.
His name is, what is it, like Lipschitz or something?
Something like that.
Oh, that's
It
fantastic.
might be his middle name. I don't know.
Oh, that's funny. All right. Oh, I'm getting some good
no, he's
juicy.
going to kill me.
No, he won't. Actually, we were talking about you on Monday. Yeah, he loves you and said, really, honest, he said nothing but a great experience working with you. Yeah, he's funny, he's smooth, and yeah, you were telling me before on the air what a great actor he is, and I know the women love him. So yeah, I think he'll be, and he's so much fun to watch.
Yes, he is.
He's
actually.
because he's funny, he's energetic, he's there's a few people that that are in these halls where I'm like, why isn't that person?
They will. It's so competitive, and you
Yeah.
can't. I think it's a conversation we actually just recently had. You just can't take. Part of me wants to say you just can't take your eyes off the prize, but that's not it. The only prize is doing better than you are. But you
Right.
can't stop the habits that are getting you where you need to go.
Okay. Enjoying the journey.
It's enjoying the journey,
Yeah.
and it's always taking a step at a time. And I know so many incredibly brilliant, talented people, and me too. Sometimes I'm like, what am I doing? I suck. Why am I doing this? I have no right doing this. My husband would go, oh, today's Tuesday. Because imposter syndrome, I think, is the biggest with people who are really talented. Because the people who aren't talented think they're great. So
absolutely
they don't
right
have
about
imposter
that.
syndrome.
Yes.
But you have to keep doing what you have to do. And again, it's a conversation I actually just had with Travis. It's just like, you're doing the right thing.
Right.
Just keep doing it. Just look for better projects. Be great on set. Don't be a jerk. No one
Right.
wants to be a jerk.
Right.
Just really work hard. And I'm the kind of director and writer that you don't have to stick exactly to the lines unless you do. Like if there's something
Right.
that needs to be said, you do. But I'll just say, yeah, try. Let's see what you got. And I have to really put my hand over my mouth to keep from laughing while we're
Right.
filming, because sometimes he'll say something, I'm ready to fall off my chair.
Yeah.
We're keeping that, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm sure with him. Yeah, because he's so quick and just so funny. But yeah, it is about enjoying the journey. I don't know. I don't know how if younger people really get that. You know, but I when I had a job. You know, I had
We all had
a
jobs.
job,
Yeah.
right? But and was miserable. You know, and then when you get away from that and you just start doing these types of things in movies and comedy and performing and even this, to me, that's what it's all about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you can't put a price tag on that.
No.
You know, I was just talking with somebody the other day about we were watching something, and then we got to talking about this particular celebrity, just like, not that we know this person, but we just talking about, I saw this person on this show doing an interview, and this person just comes across as miserable all the time, and we're just saying, that's. And this person is huge. This is a major star and lots of money, I'm sure. But the person is still miserable,
Is it big?
No, it is not. It is not Ben Affleck. I'll tell you when we're done who I was talking about.
You know what? It's sometimes they're miserable, but sometimes they're not. There's a lot of very famous people that are not comfortable being on screen unless they're acting. If they're acting, there's somebody else.
Right.
And I know people like that. We had somebody actually pretty huge at our film festival one year, and she was a nervous wreck because she was being polite, but people were swamping her because they all wanted pictures. And my husband knew her because he used to be the technical director at LaGuardia Arts, which is a fame school.
Yeah, sure.
So he met stars who were coming in and out of the doors all the time, and we were looking for a name to honor, and he said, well, what about so-and-so? And I said, yeah, can you get her? He goes, well, she's right here. And he went over, and she came, and
funny.
she was lovely.
Yeah.
But people taking, all over the place. She's smiling, and she looked at me, can we please go somewhere? She was so nervous.
Oh,
and so I
wow.
called John, and John took her to back of the stage so she could relax. Not everybody wants to be swamped. And what people don't understand is they figure you're a public feature, but you're still a public figure, but you're still a person.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you don't want to be swamped all the time.
Right,
And it's some people handle it very graciously, and other people just don't. You know, somebody had Christine Vachon, who is a phenomenal director. She's one of my idols. She said once that the best actors have to leave themselves so open and vulnerable, and that's why they're as good as what they do. They're almost translucent,
Right.
And so you have to respect the fact that they're going to need barriers. They're going to need someone to keep people away because maybe they can't handle talking to someone that day. And it's not that they're a prima donna. This is hard work if you do it right.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, yeah. So many the people that aren't in this world, they really think, oh, you just go up on stage, tell a few jokes, or you just walk in front of the camera. And no way, man. No way. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hours.
Yeah.
A lot of
Oh,
hours.
so much. They don't see everything that goes everything goes behind it. Now, one thing I was going to say, we're talking about jobs. I know I'm the luckiest person in the world because I created, I was doing accounting a million years ago, and I got called in by the county executive to do an interview to be a special assistant way back 35, 36 years ago. And hated it, but I got to write press releases, got to write things. And so I started looking for somewhere else to work, and I found a Department of Commerce and Industry. And all right, well, I got a business management degree. I'm getting this is fine. And I ended up, they did like a film permit every once in a while. It wasn't a big thing. And I made a proposal to the county executive, and I said, we should have a film commission.
That's on my list of things to ask you. I was going to ask, how did you just walk in and like, oh, so that's how, so your foot was already in the door. This is fantastic.
Yeah, and because, and not that, I'd say out of all of the 33 years I was there, maybe there was a whole combined 4 years where I hated it, but I'd always say, for the most part, I love it. And it's just when administrations change. Because people come in and they're going to tell you how to do your job, except they don't know how to do your job. They want to look important.
Yep.
So then you got to placate them. Yes, we already did that. Yes, we've been doing that for 10 years. Yes, that won't work. This is why. And it's just like, I always said when the last county executive that was there, when I was there, I said, when she leaves, I'm gone. Because I cannot break in another one of these people.
Right.
Like, I'm already, at night, I'm already making movies at night. I'm working on the weekends. People are taking vacations, and I'm making movies. So I was looking at it as I got great health care. I get a decent salary. For the most part, I love what I'm doing and who I'm doing it with. And I have so many days off. So when I did my first movie, I just took a week off. And I made a movie and went back to work.
Nice.
And I used this line in The Only Woman in the World, where I was coming back from one of the best weeks I ever had on set of My Cross to Bear. And I'm walking up to the door, and as I'm getting ready to turn the handle to my office, I could feel the life draining out of me.
Oh, wow.
And I said, I love that so much. I mean, now, if you just give up sleep and vacations and everything else, you can do both. But there's only so many hours you can give up. Even if you give up sleeping entirely one night, you still can't grab an extra hour because it doesn't exist.
Right.
So it got to the point when I left, my husband said to me, you realize you're turning down a job a day? And I said, yeah, I am, of what I want to do. And I figured, well, I can get a pension and work, and that'll supplement the difference between what I was getting. And to get to do a job you really have mostly loved for most of your life, and then get to have that help you do the rest of what you do. I don't take that for granted for a second.
I find it. I sometimes I have difficulty calling it work. Mm-hmm. Like, I got to go to work, but I'm not. So I love what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. So why, So like, I always equate it to sports, because you say I got to go. A professional athlete, I have to play, and when I played here, like, the word is play. Yeah. So yeah, that's and
work though. It certainly is.
Oh, it's definitely a lot of work, but you don't mind doing it if you love it, and you love every second of it. I have a son. He's 23, graduated from 5 towns, and he.
My husband teaches there.
Who does?
My husband teaches there.
I wonder if that's where I've seen him.
Probably. He teaches cinematography. He do production management. He taught almost every film class there.
Oh, I'll have to ask my son. Yeah. I'll have to ask him. Yeah,
Professor Marine. He must know Professor Marine.
Professor Marine. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll have to ask him. Because he loved it there and did well, and he's been he's working with a company now, and I mean I don't know if he knew. It's funny, you just expect certain things to go. You don't realize sometimes people don't realize how things are supposed to be. I don't think he realized like how crazy the hours would be. But I mean, but that's when you see him, coming alive. It's when he's home that he's a little shit. No, I'm kidding. He's
well, yeah, kid, young man, yeah, young daughter would have done the same thing.
But he's thriving. Like, you see, that's who he is, and I mean, he'll do 16 hours, come home and sleep, and he can't wait to get up.
What does he do? Can I ask?
Well, he does a number of things. He's been working with a company where he's been the AD for a while. Oh. He's currently doing, I think he's the grip currently, but I think he was he doing gaffing? He might have been. He's working with a company where they're all kind of sharing various responsibilities and having a great time with it.
Oh, I wonder if I even know him.
Again, off the air, I'll discuss that more with you. There's a lot of stuff going on off the air here. But he loves it, and I get, he hasn't gotten in front of the camera too much, but I'm trying to push him to do that because.
You want to run his life?
Well, Yeah, right. I wanted to put me in one of his movies. I get people all the time telling me that he's a good-looking kid. You know, let me see if I can find a picture. So I always say, the mailman must have done a nice job because he doesn't. I don't know. I don't think he looks like me, but I should have pictures of my own son here somewhere. You know what? I'll go on Facebook. Yeah, he was. I do a thing with my guests. I was going to save it towards the end, but he was working for a while. I do this thing on the show here where I'll mention some mutual friends, and then I allow the guests to just say whatever they want.
Oh no, I have to be very careful with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you might want to tell me just.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah, just move on. Just move on. Why can't I find him? Oh, there he is. He was working with Donna Drake for a while.
Okay.
And I love Donna. She gave him a lot of. This is the first picture I see of him, but that's him.
Oh, he's adorable.
Well, thanks. See, that's what I'm saying.
Does he look really? He looks like what the hell is his name from Carnival? I cannot remember the actor's name, but he looks like an actor many years ago from Carnival.
Carnival. Oh, that was that was a musical, right?
No, not that. It's you're thinking of Carousel. No, Carnival was this really film noirish show that used to be on HBO a long time ago. But he reminds me of the kid. I'm gonna have to look it up now.
Because as soon as you said Carnival, then I'm thinking Bobby Carnival. And
no.
Right. So this mind can't be distracted. So, so I just get lost. But I've been told that he's a good-looking kid, so I'm trying to push him. Say, get in front of the camera. Maybe that'll help you out. I don't know how we got into that. I'm talking about you. We're talking about you today, Debra Markowitz.
Okay.
So let me see. What do we got? So I'm still. I'm always thinking about. I don't want to say always thinking about the money, but I'm always intrigued by the money aspect because, like, sometimes I do some extra work. And I'll go on these movie sets, and I mean, there's so many people, so much wasted time, so much wasted things, like so much food.
Yes, lots of food.
Like, how do they afford to pay everybody? Like, I'm always intrigued by it, so I'm always watching, and I love all things movies. I'm not just wrapped up in my own character in the script. I love watching the whole thing.
Me too, actually.
The creative process. Like, I love watching documentaries, even music. I love, like, the Beatles Get Back documentary. You see Paul McCartney writing Get Back. That blew me away.
My life.
Yes.
Like this was. I mean, you always knew they were brilliant, but this was just.
How that was not out years ago.
The universe did this. This is just not.
To see him writing that classic song, I was like, I just watching the TV.
Yeah. I can never listen to the music the same now when you realize how it was done.
But in a better way.
Yes.
Like, I always loved it, and now I love it even more.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have to watch it again because it was so inspiring.
Yeah. Yep. And even now, I'm a Billy Joel nut. I talk about Billy Joel on this show all the time. So even now, I'm into this whole, how did this new song come about? And, he's writing with a few other people. He never did that before. So I love the whole process.
Yes.
So and then I'm thinking, how are these people making a living? So how do you get paid then from the people that bring the script? Do you also get paid, I guess, from the people who want to distribute it, like a Tubi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When I do my own stuff, I don't pay myself. My husband doesn't pay himself if he's shooting it. And usually he shoots most of our stuff. He's not shooting the series. He may or may not be shooting the really big feature we're doing next year. It depends. But he can fit into any of those slots, whether it's AD, production management, line production, whatever I need him to do. Sound. He's doing sound on a film we're doing for somebody next week. When people hire us is when we get paid.
Okay.
Okay. If somebody hires me even to be a consultant, I usually will get paid, so we get paid for that. If you distribute it, you get paid. Haven't really made a lot of money with that yet.
Yeah.
My own fault for not really marketing and promoting. That's an area I'm lacking in. So I'm actually going to be speaking to a producer this week to see if he can get involved and take care of that end of it, because I'm just not good at it.
Right.
I give you a great film, but then it's like, okay, next.
Yep.
And you can't do that,
It makes me nuts, this current world, I guess we're in. We like, even here at the club, you can't just be a comedian, you can't just be a filmmaker. Right. You have to then, you have to be an advertiser, you have to be a marketer, because you got to post, and you have to post at the right time in the right place, and
Yep. You got to go to film festivals, and that's how you meet people who end up
Right.
hiring you, and you want them to see your film.
but that's right, and that's
yeah.
that's a good thing because then you can network and stuff.
Right.
But the whole social media, that type of marketing, like
It's-
I'm lost.
I post stuff all the time. I mean, you'll find out a lot about my projects from my Facebook and my Instagram. However, you're probably going to see more pictures of my dog than anything. But she's really cute.
Is that dog a pit?
Yes.
I had a pit.
She's the best.
Best dog I ever
Terrier
had.
mix. You must say terrier mix.
Well, yeah, of course you have to say terrier
She
mix.
is the best thing
Yep.
in the world. She loves people. She can be on a film set and she just watches.
Oh, that's
She is
fantastic.
amazing.
Yep.
She has an incredible disposition. We rescued her about 6 months ago.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Thank you.
That's what we did. We rescued a pit. 2010 we got him, and then he passed in 2017. But the best freaking dog, and now we have this Beagle Basset mix. This dog doesn't shut up, and he chews the walls, and he's a nightmare. I'm just like, I want a pit again. Oh, it's awful. But I that's on my list. See, right here, it's the last thing. Dog. Oh.
What?
That's I forgot to load pictures on here. There's a
see your
picture.
dog?
You posted a picture
Okay.
of your dog or with your dog. You know what?
Uh-oh.
Do I have a second to? Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna try and do this as fast as I can and load
Okay.
these pictures because there's a picture that you posted of your dog where there's another dog, and I'm assuming that dog's owner is in the picture. You guys are like walking in a park or in a forest or
It's
something.
either the Rottweiler or it could be. Oh, that's the Rottweiler.
Yeah, all right, so-
That's her friend Rain. And no, he's just scratching her butt. He's not doing
That's. It's like he's like he looks like a puppeteer. All right. So now I'm gonna. Right. So now, boom. So this is what the viewer sees. This small window. So now everybody can see what we're talking about. Look where his hand is.
He's under her jacket. He's scratching her butt. He's not doing anything obscene.
All right. Well.
I know. My friend said that. What is he doing? I went, oh, God.
But you see. But even what he is doing. What do you mean he's scratching her butt? Like you
He's
don't
scratching her butt, you know.
pet the dog. You rub the belly. You don't scratch
Oh,
their
no.
butts.
Dogs are big into butt scratching.
And you oblige with this?
No, we're talking not the butt. We're talking about the back.
I thought he was gonna like play with a basketball.
Not that. I don't think she'd go for that. But,
Yeah, I was like, hey, what's that about? Yeah, that was, and you're not getting a lot of. You said a friend mentioned that to you.
a friend did say, "What is he doing on my keys?" Oh God, what does that look like?
Dog smiling. I thought for sure a lot of people would be asking about that. So all right, so
Especially the look on her face if you look at it.
yes, exactly. So that's a whole different. I didn't know those are the movies you're making. All right, so I'm just loading up some other pictures while we talk here.
Sure.
Saving that for later because I forgot to do this. Damn it. Oh, okay. All right. So that's that. Yeah, that's cool that you did that you rescued a dog. That's awesome.
All our dogs have been rescues.
And speaking of your husband, yeah, so that's cool. He's at 5 towns, but he's he's badass. He's a fencer, and what was it? A steel. What was
Live
it?
steel. He fights with live steel. He used to do the medieval fair. Oh, he
Fights
is a
with
badass.
live-
He is.
Yeah, he's got the ponytail going on.
Yeah.
He looks like a badass.
He is.
Is that's part of the attraction there?
Oh yeah. When
Good
we
answer.
were dating, I gave I had just had such a terrible marriage before him, and how I even eventually said yes 10 years later when I was sure. He was just so cool because John is he observes.
Okay.
If there's a room full of people, he's in the corner, and he's watching everything.
Yeah.
And he knows everything that's going. He knows where every exit is. He knows if there's ever a problem. He knows who needs to be taken care of. He used to be a bouncer back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Way
Ah.
back in the day. But he just observes everything. And things I don't even know, he'll tell me. I'm like, when did that happen? He'll show me a picture. I'm like, I didn't even see it. And he's just like the best judge of people.
Oh, really?
He won't always tell me what he thinks, but when things go sour, he'll go, well, when they did this like 10 years ago, what are you
Right.
going to tell me? Because you have to make your own decisions.
Oh, wow.
But he is, if there's somebody I'm not sure of, he'll tell me right off the bat. He's like, they don't mean bad. They just don't know any better. Go, stay away from this person. He's just,
that's cool.
he's the best. Now, I got to tell you a cool story. Well,
Oh.
it's probably not cool, but it's kind of cool in a way. But one year at the film festival, we had this fairly big name there. And I guess I'm with John probably 10 years, 15 years. I don't even remember at that point. But, we're taking a picture, doing something, and the celebrity next to me's hand starts traveling down. And I've been with John so long, I'm like, is he?
No way.
I look at John, and John's just looking at me, and he comes over to me after he goes, can you handle this, or do you need me to take care of it?
Yeah.
I'm like, I got it, it's fine. But I'm like, been with him so long, I'm not even thinking, wait, is he groping? I was like, who does that anymore?
Holy cow.
It wasn't horrific, but it
Yeah.
was, a thinner skinned person could have lost their shit.
Sure.
But John just is like, filming this. We have this up because he was
Really?
filming an interview.
Oh, that is fantastic.
And he said, yeah, I got it on film. But he just came over and said, can you handle it? Or do you need me to do something?
Yeah.
Because he never wants to take away my power.
Oh, that's cool. That is cool.
He's
Yeah.
amazing. And the things that people don't know about him, I didn't date in the industry.
Okay.
I never dated in the industry because there's too much, I hate to say it, too many reasons to date me other than caring about me, such as I'm doing casting, I'm doing this, and I never wanted to get involved with that.
Yeah, true. Good point.
So what I didn't know when I met him is he had been in the industry and left to teach to raise his kids. So when we started talking about things, it turns out like he built the power scene for Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. His company built the first sets for Nickelodeon.
Wow.
He did like really, really big stuff.
Yeah.
He's just so quiet, you wouldn't usually even know it.
Wow.
And then he kept finding all these acting pictures of acting in college and played like all these lead roles and sang and danced. I would kill for video, but there's no videos. There's only shots.
Well, you got to then write something where he's, singing and dancing.
Right? He can do it.
Oh,
but
that's
he's
awesome.
been in he's actually been in quite a few independent films recently. He doesn't audition. He doesn't look for it, but occasionally somebody will come up. You have a great look.
Right.
Would you do this? So he's been a chop shop owner. He's been... he ran a strip club. He
Nice.
was a drug and alcohol counselor. He plays a gay UPS driver in My Couple of Guys, which is hilarious. He is hilarious in
That's
this.
really funny.
But,
And you're right. He does have he does have a lot of different looks. There are some pictures I saw where he just looks like an everyday nice guy. There's other pictures where you're like, whoa.
I know, it's like, I meet him in a dark alley.
Right, yeah.
And he's not a kid, but he still has that presence that, he knows everything that's going on.
That's cool. I did 7 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago. I was doing a project in England, and it was I was working with a buddy of mine who's a musician, and he was playing this big charity gig at St. Andrews. They have the golf course. I'm not a golfer. I don't know, but
No.
yeah, same here. I completely overrated. I don't get it. I don't know what. Put on weird looking outfits to show off how much money we have, and hit a ball and walk for hours. I don't know.
I can't.
I don't get it. So we're apparently in St. Andrew in Scotland is like the mecca of all golf courses or something. I don't know. Maybe that's where golf started. I don't even know. Anyway, there was some big charity event, for major charities. Like apparently some of the biggest golfers in the world were there. I had no idea. But my buddy was he was playing. His band was playing at this event, so I was helping him. I was part of his entourage. And Huey Lewis was there, and apparently Andy Garcia. Yes, I'm name dropping, and I've told the story before on here. He goes to this thing every year. He's a big golfer. He goes to this event, and they set up conga drums for him because he likes to.
Uh-huh.
So he shows up. And I think he was already half in the bag when he got there. He shows up, he had this big fedora and this overcoat. I mean, he just walks in and goes right to the congas. He didn't say hi to anybody. Nobody even noticed him.
Stress relief.
Yeah, and he sits down, and the band is rehearsing, and he's not even, playing to the beat of the song. He's just...
Whoa.
He eventually takes his coat off, puts it on one of the congas, and then continues to play. So... They have the event, and it was really funny, and I do have video of it somewhere. And he really, throughout the event, he's like this. But then, once in a while, it was all these rich people. Once in a while, this gorgeous girl would, get in front of him to take a picture, and then all of a sudden, and then she's gone, he's back. So, and this event went on for hours and hours, and he eventually stopped playing, and he's now mingling and hanging out. So, my girlfriend at the time... her and I go to him. We say, can we get a picture? Because of course, during the event they're like, don't ask for pictures, don't do it. But this was like 2 or 3 in the morning, and the event's still going. And so we're like, by that time it had loosened up. So we take the picture, and my girlfriend at the time, she turns to him. She goes, thank you very much, I appreciate it. He goes, you're welcome. Just like that. I mean, and slowed down a little bit, and and he walked away. And the same thing. I go.
Did that just happen?
Yeah, and I said that. I go, did I see what I think I saw? She goes, oh, yeah. I said the same thing. I go, am I supposed to do something now? Like, I didn't know how to feel. Like, It's such a shock. Like, you don't know what to...
Yeah.
And she just looked at me. She goes, don't do anything. It's Andy Garcia. Just like that. I was like, okay. And, yeah, I mean, terribly inappropriate.
Yes.
She took it in stride, not the end of the world, so... And now we have a great story. So, so I guess it worked out. She wasn't, terribly, I'm not trying to downplay him.
No,
what he was terribly wrong, but she reacted as you did.
It's a weird thing, you know, because if somebody would be very upset by that, and certainly they have the right to be, you know. I think that I've been around a long time. I've worked in restaurants. I've worked in a nightclub. I've done all kinds of stuff. So to me, stuff like that, I know how to just make you go... Like, you just pretend you're stupid is brilliant. I shouldn't have to pretend I'm stupid. Unfortunately, the way to survive as a businesswoman back in the day when I started was, you're so, like it's a joke, and then they can't recover, and then they just go away with their tail between their legs, so to speak. Right. But, but that's just how I got by. You shouldn't have to, but it's a really weird thing how different people perceive different things. Sure. Did I like being treated like I didn't have a brain? I mean, I've been in a business meeting where there were some pretty powerful people, and one of them, and I don't want to mention who it is, he might be dead now, but whatever it is, he literally, as me as film commissioner, would not speak to me. He would speak to the people next to me, and they would literally go, I heard what he said, I'm right here, but literally would not talk to me. And I don't know if it was because I'm a female, I don't know if it's because my last name was Markowitz, I don't know if I looked like his ex-wife, I don't know what it was. But, and I'm sitting there looking at this going, does anybody else see what's happening here?
It's amazing that can still even go on. It's crazy.
Now, this was 30-something years. It's still, that stuff happens.
Right.
You're not taken seriously. So you kind of have to learn to take yourself seriously.
Right.
And maybe take other things not as seriously. It depends how you want to survive. I didn't want to fight with people all the time.
Right, exactly. Or even be known for the one that, is fighting that battle. Not that...
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Okay.
I do know what you're saying, and I know some people might take it wrong, but I know exactly what you're saying. To me, you pick your battles, and I would be the first person to step in front of somebody who's getting abused. If
Absolutely.
They were really, But at the same time, there's things that I just can't be bothered with. There's people who say stupid shit. Move on. Just move on. I don't
it's sometimes it's better instead of fighting back in that moment. You dealt with this jerk, but you rose above it, and you're making all these great films. You're happy. You're that's a better revenge than hitting them back, say, or whatever.
Not that hitting them back isn't fun sometimes.
Oh, sure, absolutely right. Absolutely,
I have thrown a tray at one of my bosses once when I was a waitress, but that's
no kidding, really.
I was much younger.
That's awesome.
I know.
Good for you.
Threw a tray at him, walked out, and the boss was running out. Don't leave! I said he never comes near me again. He's like, okay.
Wow.
But I just I didn't have a house. I didn't have a house. I had the bills. I didn't have, But at that point, it's like, leave. I'll have another freaking job tomorrow.
Absolutely.
When you're young and have no responsibilities.
Right. Yeah. That's a nice. Kind of miss that sometimes. Yeah. Being young and having no responsibilities.
Not having that. Now it's like I better have insurance because somebody falls on my property, or I feel. You can't lose everything you've worked your entire life for.
Sure.
When you have nothing, you got nothing to lose.
Yeah. True. Good point. And it must be great working. I mean, you've done nothing but say the nicest things about your husband. So that must be nice to have that together.
Yeah, we are so lucky we get along. There might have been 1 or 2 times it got a little tense, but
I'm sure
he's really easy. If I say something, or if he knows that he's getting, John's very methodical. John's like the methodical person. I'm kind of like the toddler because I can do all of this stuff together, and I think I put it on my Facebook page. I'm cresting this and doing that, and whatever. And oh crap, I dropped some water on the floor, and I go to clean up, put my hand on the water dispenser on the refrigerator. And that's not.
I'm cleaning, and there's still more water. What the hell's going on here?
And no matter where we go, I have this weird directional deficiency that no matter where we go, I will go in the wrong direction. So it's constantly me going like this and him grabbing my arm and it's this way. And if I try and psych myself out saying, well, I know it's this, so I'm going to go this way, I'm still wrong.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
but he spends a lot of his time just, come here, dear. He's like my handler. And I'm just, I'm very frenetic. I get a lot done.
Yeah.
But John has to, we're doing this first. So if everybody's talking, he'll be like, this first.
Oh,
because that's how it has to, and that's how a normal person.
Yes, you're absolutely right. You're
Not
absolutely
me.
right.
I'm like, oh, I'll do this first. Do this. Production time, sure. And it's like, one thing down at a time. So yeah, we're actually really kind of perfect for each other because he
That's cool.
calms me down, and if he gets a little out of it, I calm him down, and you know, he will support anything I want to do.
Oh, wow.
And that is rare.
Yep.
You know, we had not planned on doing this movie right now, but I wrote it, and like when I did the first feature, I said to him, you know, I really think it's time I do a feature now. And he's like, all right, well, let's figure out how to do it. And we sit down and put the game plan together, and he's got that teacher mentality, and he's a great teacher. He's taught almost most of his life, actually, and he can explain something to me in 15 years that I didn't learn in 12 years of school. You know, he just go, well, this is why. I'm like, why did nobody ever explain to me like that?
Yeah, right,
you know?
yeah.
He's just got that, you know, the ability to do that. Where I take all the meandering sideways and, you know, winding, and then he's dizzy. It's like, wait, did we get to the end?
Right, yeah. Oh, I do it all the time in here. It'll take me 10 minutes to ask a question and like sum it up in like 5 words. Oh, thanks for clearing that up. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
So you like your job? Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right. So now the thing with working for the county that you're not doing that anymore,
No,
right?
I left about, I guess, 4 years ago now.
Okay, but that's amazing to me that you created that, and it's still running though. It's still,
It is still
like
running.
so.
And the best thing, when I left, I got the 2 people I wanted in there.
Oh, nice.
It never happens, but the thing it is actually is a very specialized job. I was always an appointee. I was never civil service, so they could have gotten rid of me anytime they wanted.
Right.
But, while the scouts don't really care who they work for as long as you know your stuff, they'd be pretty pissed if you're fired the only person who knows how to do all these layers of government and get through things and whatever. So when I knew I was leaving, people were like, give 2 weeks and leave. I said, I'm not going to give 2 weeks and leave. I actually care about this job. So Nugent, who had been my assistant, and Anthony, who had been my assistant at a different time, I basically said, look, I'm leaving. You need somebody here who knows that. This is not something I can teach somebody in 2 weeks.
Right.
You need somebody here. They've already been here, you know, and give them a month to ask me whatever they want, and I'll help them forever, you know.
Yeah, of course.
They don't need it anymore because they're really running with it now. But the fact that I was able to leave it to 2 people I really care about who care about it and are very good at it was just, I was just telling my husband the other day, it's like home run all around.
Yeah, sure.
I got to do what I want to do. They're getting to do what they want to do. Everybody's happy because they're doing a great job.
And that says a lot about you, that you walked away with class and then, you know, looked out for these other 2 people. I mean,
I care about the scouts. I work with some of the most brilliantly talented people in the whole world. I was so excited. I started watching The Bear on TV, and I'm looking at the credits, and one of my location manager friends was a producer on it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God. You know, Tyson, that's amazing. I love to see how everybody's moved up and is succeeding. And every now and then when they reach out, you know, for whatever reason, another one who's done, I don't know if he did The Sopranos. He did one of the big shows, and he just wrote a script, and he goes, you really inspire me. Would you read this for me? And it was like 10 pages, like, sure.
Yeah.
But that means a lot to me.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yeah. That, again, says a lot about you. And so there was a lot entailed, like if a movie studio wanted to...
So much.
Really?
Yeah.
So I had no
Sometimes
idea.
it's simple. A lot of times it's not. Sometimes they want something you own, and you have to calm everybody down and you know, brush everybody's feathers to make sure they're all okay with this, especially if they don't really want to do it. You got to make them think they do.
Right.
It can be working with the villages. The villages are not really being understanding.
Right. Yeah.
Just for example, it used to be very difficult to shoot at a specific beach, and this company wanted it. And I was speaking to my friends in parks, and they said, "Oh no, that guy's he'll never do it. He'll never do it." Let me talk to him. And I called him up, and I said, "Look, they want to do it." And he just went on and on for about 20 minutes. And he said, "You know, it's somebody." I said, "Okay. What would make you happy to have them there?" Silence. He goes, "Well, they'd have to hire somebody." I said, "Okay, how much would it cost? how much, and by the end of the conversation, he said, I don't ever want to speak to anybody but you again. And he let them film, and he let them do whatever they wanted with, keeping everything safe.
Right.
Because they're there to protect property.
Right.
So you have to let them know they can do that.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes people get, they think you're strong-armed. If you're strong, no, that doesn't really work.
Not at all. Not at all.
So it's, it was working around that, and then they put in a policy, you need at least a month of filming, and I called up my friend, I said, hi, that camera, he goes, that's for everybody but you. Just I said, okay.
That's awesome.
Because you have to respect people, and I think that was one of my biggest strengths as film commissioner was the fact that I could see what everybody needed, and see if it could work, and if it didn't work, I almost always had a backup, and I would do things like, an extensive mailing list at the time, and I would send it out to all the villages and everybody, hey, this is what I'm looking for, what do you got? And some villages are easier, some are not, and you just have to know where to send them. So there's a lot of little pieces to everything. Who needs extra permits? Who doesn't need a permit? Who's going to hit you for this? Who's going to, so it's really knowing everything. So it's,
I bet. And it's having to know the island well.
Nassau County, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Right. Yeah.
It's knowing it well. Probably never knew it as well as I should have, but I knew people who did. So I would just go through, hey, do you guys have this? And we started getting pictures of all the different facilities on the website so they could look at it, tell us what they wanted, and then we can put them in touch with whatever. It was constantly changing. You'd be in a great place, and then somebody'd get a new administrator, and everything would change. You'd have to go back and kind of get them used to the system. Yep. So it's a really, really big thing dealing with all the different entities. Oh, blacklist. Do we have a little time? I can tell you.
Yeah.
This was one of my most challenging jobs, the pilot of the blacklist.
Yeah.
They wanted to film on a bridge a month after Hurricane Superstorm Sandy. Okay?
Oh, wow.
So now, everything that, oh my God, this was so complicated because they wanted to film on the bridge. They needed to blow thing up. They needed to rappel into the water. They needed a hurricane to drop something in the water. They needed people in the water in boats. They needed whatever.
Oh my goodness.
So I needed the approval of like 12 different departments and agencies and everything else, and the police. And every time we thought we were done, somebody said, well, now you have to do this. Okay, now we have to, okay.
Right.
We did this in a month when it should have been 3 months to get it done.
Yeah.
And we got to the point where everybody was placated and would have been okay to say yes, and nobody would say yes. So at which point I said, I'm saying yes, and everybody threw their, I had no right to say
Yeah.
I said, I'm saying this is and then everybody threw their hat in the ring, and we got to pull it off. And if you look in the trailer for the first blacklist, that's all stuff we did. Just all over the place. And we did it in, I think they did it over a weekend. We made a lot of money.
I bet.
And everybody, because they're like, we need to do this. We'll give you whatever you need. I'm like, I told the county executive, they're going to give us whatever we need.
Right. Throw $3 million into Long Beach.
Take the money. They're covering all the expenses. They're paying bridges. They're paying the police. They're paying the Marine Bureau. They just let them do it. They're paying for everything. And that was one of the most awesome things I think I ever got to do.
I bet.
And then they said, come to set. I'm like, no, I'm not coming to set. Is that a problem? I don't want to know. But it went perfectly. But it's when you get to pull together impossible things like that you think you're just going to rip out all your hair, but yet it works. It's like,
wow.
Yeah. So that was kind of one of the most intricate things that I've done, and it was probably the most rewarding.
That's cool. You've had quite a cool life.
I have. I really have.
Absolutely. All right. So let me. How much time do we have? Oh, we got plenty of time. If you're good,
I'm
okay.
Good.
I don't want to forget. Let's get current. So tell me about a couple of guys.
Okay, couple.
Because that is current, right? That's what you're working. One of the things you're working on.
We just actually am going to post on the 4th episode. I started this years ago. I started as something that was going to be a short film, and originally it was going to be called Menu. And when I wrote the script, I sent it to the DP I had been using at the time. Okay. And he said, I don't want to do this. I said, what do you mean you don't want to do this? And he said, well, it's just not interesting enough. I don't want to. So I went to a couple of other friends, and one of them, who won at Sundance once, I said to him, so what do you think of this? And he read it. He goes, well, why do you want to do it? Do you want to practice? I said, I always want to practice. Yeah. He goes, do you think it could get into your film festival? Now, I don't put my films in my film festival. But he said, if it wasn't yours, could I said, this would get into life. He goes, would it ever win? I'm like, no. He said, why wouldn't it win? I said, not enough story. And then it made me think about it. And then it was originally supposed to be a heterosexual couple.
Okay.
But I knew 2 actors I wanted to work with. And then all of a sudden, once I know who the actors are, the whole story took off. And basically, it's the story of John Graham, played by Lucas Hassel from The Blacklist, who's been a musician. He's been on the road. He's had all kinds of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And he's kind of ready to settle down. And then he meets Richard Durant, played by Sal Rendino, who's been in East New York and a bunch of other things. And Richard has been married, he's had kids, he divorces his wife, but she doesn't really know why, because he's never come out.
Oh,
so he's approaching 50 and he just can't do it anymore. The kids are older, he divorces his wife, and then he meets this guy, and he takes a chance, because he didn't know he's going to get punched out. He don't know if the guy's gay, but they meet in a record store, and he asks him out for coffee, and everything takes off from there. But there are different points in their life where the John character is ready to settle down, but the Richard character is ready to start living.
Oh, okay.
So it's just this wonderful thing of the kids and the ex-wife who doesn't really understand, and the sister, played by Abigail Huck from Blue Bloods, who is this prima donna who's basically destroyed her career and trying to come back, and Kieran is in it, and he's John's bandmate going, come on, let's go on the road, let's tour. He's like, we haven't done that in years. We could. And it's just this relationship between all these people, and I wrote it as a 10-episode limited series. We have, as I said, we now have the 4th episodes in post. It's getting scored, and they're doing post sound, and the color's done. It's been a labor of love. I wrote it as originally 3 seasons, decided to turn it into a 10-episode limited series so it could get done.
Okay.
Because I don't want to sell it and have somebody rip it apart and get rid of all the beautiful work everybody's done already, which is what they will.
Yeah.
So the 4th one will be done, and I wasn't planning on doing another feature, but I am. But then when that's done, we'll probably show the first 3 episodes of a couple of guys to raise money for the 5th one.
Okay.
And we're getting this done somehow.
Right.
At least the first, even if I make it a first season where it ends in a good place. So that's what my plan is for that.
All right. So, so many questions here. So, first of all, I love that, because I'm thinking, when you first said it was originally heterosexual, then in my head, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to hear why you changed it, because I'm thinking, stories and character, but just 2 actors I wanted to work with.
That's how I do almost everything. That's how freaking Brooklyn starts. It's all Travis's fault. That's how it starts.
Right. But then I watched, not the trailer, but then there was also like some kind of behind the scenes thing to a couple of guys where you're interviewed.
Oh my God, that's old. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah.
But you said it was important to have an LGBTQ
represented series.
Yeah.
Oh, I can tell you some cool thing about that.
Okay.
So a couple of guys, we didn't have a lot of screenings. I didn't want to have a lot of screenings, but I submitted just for a few places. And one of the most impressive places I got accepted to was a film festival upstate called Image Out, which is very hard to get into. In fact, my friend who won Sundance said, how the hell did you get in there? I can't get in there. And the director unfortunately passed away last year, but he just loved it. He championed it. So now John and I go up there, and we are, first of all, I don't care that they're an LGBT couple. It's for everybody.
Yeah, sure.
But we're in this room of our complete target audience. Gay men who are middle-aged, who whatever. And I'm like, well, are they going to kill us? We don't know what they're going to do. So the screening's happening. They're laughing in the right places. We can tell they're getting into it. It's like, all right, this isn't so bad. Then John and I go up on stage, and they set up couches for us, and we're the whole thing. We're the whole show.
Oh, okay.
And Michael Gamilla, who had passed, he said, hey, if you finish the series, we'll give you a whole day. We'll just screen the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
We loved it. But the questions they asked, one was, do you have a cultural consultant? And I said, yes. I have a 30-year-old gay man, a 50-year-old gay man, and a 6-year-old gay man that go over every script I have to make sure I don't inadvertently say something that doesn't work or is inappropriate. And sometimes it's generational. Has nothing to do with gay.
Yes.
One guy thinks it's hysterical. Middle guy thinks it's terrible. The older guy said, depends on the relationship.
Yep.
But so that happens. They were very happy to hear that it was respected. And then one gentleman stood up and said, I really want to thank you because that was my story. He said, and I have never felt represented because I got married, and you just don't know where you fit anymore. Yeah. And then someone else said, I love this because people assume just because you're gay, you're promiscuous, and whatever. He goes, what if you're come out late and you're just not, and these are like real people. It's not a caricature. It's not whatever. And I mean, like I told my husband, I do a lot of genres, horror, whatever, but my main genre is relationships for messy people. And so it's,
I love the way that's put. That's
people
great.
don't quite have their shit together, and
That's most people.
And I just love it. I could watch it forever. People go, I don't like that movie. Nothing happens, and I'm like, I love it because I'm just sitting here watching the people's reactions to each other and stuff.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. That's cool, and that's great. What a great compliment to have. Somebody stand up and say, "That's my story."
Was. And that's why I said, I know however long it takes, we got to finish this. And the actors are friggin' brilliant. They're amazing.
It's so much. It's so gratifying to me. It's the things that you just can't put a price tag on.
Yeah.
That's what keeps me going. It's that kind of stuff. And again, I don't make a dime in here, but there's one guy that calls in almost every day. His name is John. He just talks about what a difference it makes in his life. I'm like, well, that's it. That's it right there.
That is it. Yeah.
Again, there's nothing better than that. Really, it's something.
Yeah.
So, but why did in this video that I watched, you said it was important to have a series like that. Do you feel, because it seems like that community is probably represented better now than it ever has been. So do you think your series offered something different or something?
Yeah, it does, and it is because the two types of people who are involved in where they are coming from two completely different frameworks of what they both want to do with their lives and how are they going to work it out and can they work it out.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm going to say in that way you don't really see how the ex-wife is impacted because that happens a lot more than people think. Where she doesn't really understand. She doesn't believe her husband's gay. It's like, okay, a lot of people are bi. That's fine. He's like, no, I'm not actually bi. I'm gay. And she just refuses to believe it.
Oh, wow.
The kids are more accepting because they're trying to be cool.
Right.
But, it comes out later that, Dad's not who we kind of thought he was, but we still love him. And so it really goes deeper into the family than just, that relationship itself.
Sure.
And I think that, this was my maybe pie in the sky idea too, but I wanted to make these characters so easy to love, even when they're not that easy to love, so that somebody who maybe has a different idea or a bigotry or this or that, maybe they watch it and get to like these characters and realize that they're people.
Yeah.
And maybe that changes the way somebody thinks. Maybe that's pie in the sky, idealistic, but I do believe people fall in love with characters and sometimes it changes how they think. So.
I totally agree with that. And not to go back to The Sopranos, but I that show, I loved the way they made Tony Soprano, who was basically a violent thug, but they made him likable.
Yes.
And then I do feel it changed the way, like I think a lot of men just would walk the next day like they felt like they were Tony Soprano or something. So it changed the way they
still
were
going
thinking.
on.
Yeah, but that's a whole different story. So you're working on you're trying to get the fifth one going. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
looking for funding for the fifth so we can get moving with that.
Yeah, that's great. How do you find your actors?
I am kind of guilty of working with a lot of people I know.
I've noticed that you do. There's a lot of the same faces in a lot of your projects.
Yeah. And it
which
can't
is great.
And if I do that, it doesn't just mean you're my friend. It means you're freaking brilliant. Like if no matter what I bring Lucas or Sal in or whatever, they can do it.
Right.
So it's never a question of, maybe that's kind of lazy casting, but I
know
whatever
it
it is, they
works,
can do
right.
it. And I've cast them in 5 gazillion things, especially Sal, since then.
And some of the best do it. Tarantino uses a lot of the same people. Oliver Stone would use a lot of the same faces.
And
Sure.
you want to work with people that you really like to be around.
Sure.
Because it is really tight on the set. And it doesn't mean I don't ever bring in new people, because I do. I just did with Waitlist. It's a bunch of new people. But it's a journey together. They say you become a film family, and you really do.
Yeah.
There's the people who collect their paycheck and they're just gone. There's the person who, I've worked with some friggin' amazing people. The person who's really moved high up, and if I send them an email, I'm going to get an email back.
Nice.
It's like, hey, Deb, hey, let's catch up.
Right.
And that means a lot because they're so far. They're doing big major TV shows and whatever. And I don't usually ask for favors. I might just want to reach out for, you just have a question or something.
Sure.
It's because I also write a lot with the actors in mind.
Yeah.
That's a thing. Now with Travis, what happened with that is I even forgot how we cast. Oh, because I cast him in a couple of things for other people. He did a reading and they loved him. There's a big star involved with this one thing, and they said, all right, this is the people. If we get done, this is who we want. Once the money comes in, anything can change, but they loved him. And then I cast him in a I think it was a commercial, but it didn't happen yet. They were still waiting on the location. I don't know if it will. And then we bought, we upgraded. We used all Blackmagic cameras, the Ursa Mini, the 6K, 4K, and we decided, because we're doing this big feature next year, that we were going to invest in a Red Komodo X, the new Red camera.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Yep.
But I said, well, then we're committing to doing this for at least another 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
And because we did it, it's like, well, let's do a practice. Whenever we want to practice something, it becomes a film. The only one in the world was a practice film. Now it's a feature film that's on platform. So for whatever, I was chatting with Travis about something, and I said, he told me an idea he had for a series or something. I said, that's brilliant. Did you write it? And he goes, no. I said, well, you should really write it. I said, look, we got this new camera. We're looking to do something for next to nothing or free, because I want to work with it a few times before we start working with other people. I mean, it's very user-friendly. It translates, but I still want to know that I always feel comfortable when I say we can do something, we can do it. So I wrote wait lists. I'm like, what am I going to write for, like a, X-year-old guy, what the hell? And I couldn't come up with, I can't write for it. And then I decided, well, who else could I work with? I'm like, oh. And then I came up with the story, and basically it's about a young man who has always had a major crush on his childhood friend's mother, and he finds out she's divorced. And then I wrote that up. I came in with the actors I wanted. We made it a hilarious, it's like going to be like an 8 or 9 minute comedy.
That's great.
And it just really, really works. The actors have great chemistry, and it's hilarious. But then I started thinking about, but what would have happened after? And I had to know that, and it had to be honest, and it had to be realistic. And so, like I said, we filmed, and I'm up 3 a.m. writing, and all of a sudden I told my husband, can you believe I wrote a feature film, and 2 weeks ago, it's only Wednesday. I'm like, did I write this in 5 days?
Wow.
I've never done. I didn't mean to do that, but I could not.
Once those juices are flowing, right?
Yeah. And so I reached out because first Travis said, I think we need to have like episodes 1, 2, and 3. So I wrote actually 3 episodes. I'm like, it's not far enough. The 3 of them are very funny.
Yeah.
But it's not far enough of what would actually happen. And so then I just came up with this, and I sent to a few people, and Beck Fortis, who plays the mother, she was very young when she got married, and she's not that much older than Kit, but there's certainly a difference in age. And and she read it, she goes, Debbie, this reminds me of Past Lives. Now, I have not seen Past Lives, so I don't know. She goes, your character's more complex, she said, but I was like, no, I have to watch Past Lives.
Right.
She said, but it's that same, it's just all emotional. It's all, what would you do? What would happen? Now, what are you going to do when your friend finds out? Even though you haven't really spoken to him in ages, you were kids. But
still.
And so there's all these things that happen between these characters, and who's the person who's actually the most freaked out about it wouldn't be who you think is. And there's just all these things that happen.
Oh, that's cool.
I know, and I sent it to a couple of people who were all like, another screenwriter who I really love, he's so talented, and I sent it to him. And he read it, and he said, I know you're worried about your dialogue. He said, don't be. He said, there's not a false note in here.
Okay.
He said, it's all very honest, and the way people would speak. So once I knew who the characters were, whatever, but first I'm like, what am I write the third? What do they even talk about? I don't know. What kind of underwear they wear? I don't know. I don't know anything anymore, But I could have told you 20 years ago, but I can't tell you now. So it was kind of hard to whatever, but I will ask. The funny thing is, I'll chat with Travis on occasion. I'll say something. He goes, "What exactly does that mean?" And I'll tell him, and then he'll say something. I'll be like, "What does that mean?"
Right. Oh yeah.
Because there is, same age as my daughter.
Right.
But,
it happens all the time when he's in here. I mean, I'm just engineering. I don't have to know what he means, but I don't.
Yeah,
but
it's
when you know the character so well, and you know the actors playing the character so well, it does make it so much easier to write for them, and because you can almost hear them in your head saying it or making the changes so it fits them better, and then that helps with the whole chemistry thing. I get
up in the middle of the night and the characters are talking to me.
Right.
When I do that, and I'm like, well, I can either write it in my phone or I can just go and write the freaking thing.
Right.
But it felt great. In fact, I might change one of the scenes only because I got 2 names in it, which I can't mention yet because nothing's signed. But I want to get another one of my friends in. And so I have a place I can put her, but then I have to beef up a scene. And then it came to me, oh my God, wouldn't this be hilarious if? And then I told John, he goes, that would be hilarious. I said, and then it can feed into the next scene, because then that'll be, and then the whole thing just kind of really fits together. So,
Right. Okay.
yeah. Oh, it's awesome.
That's great.
Creating these worlds.
Yes. And if, and I'll throw it out there, you ever need an overweight, bald, older man,
Joe's going to be in it. He's going to be bartender Alec. He's going to break up a fight.
Oh, that's funny. And now, what about you? You've never been in front of the camera?
I have been in front
You
of the
have?
camera.
Oh, okay.
I actually started as an actor way back.
Oh, okay.
And I decided that I really was going to need to pay bills one day, so I decided to go into business management.
Right.
But there's been a few times people have asked me to do small roles. I'll do something small here or there. Somebody had me read for a lead once, and I was a nervous freaking wreck. And then it was between me and somebody who was actually pretty big on the indie circuit. And I went with her, and I'm like, fine. And then 6 years ago, I suck with time, but a director that I have cast for in the past, I'm working, and he's sending me Facebook messages, and I'm working, and he says, it would be in a movie, and I'm like, whatever, and I'm working. And then I look at it, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do small things. And then I look at it later, and I'm like, it says, I would like you to be the lead. And I'm like, no. And he's like, what? Why not? I said, because that's a really, I don't want to ruin somebody's movie. I am.
Or you could be enhancing somebody's movie.
Yeah, but I sort of felt like I know what it's like to see somebody's movie room, because, and I'm not saying I can't do it, but if I'm going to do it, I need a lot of time, because I haven't, my instrument is not,
I hear you,
and,
right.
and I need to get
Yep.
back to really getting into this.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes, let me take you to lunch. I really want to explain to you why you have to do this. Like, fine. So I meet him for lunch the next day, and he's telling me, okay, now everybody's going to know this, but this is how to get me. You won't get me anymore because I'm telling you. But he said, I had a dream about you in this movie. It was you, and it was very successful. Please do it.
Wow.
I said, send me the script. And basically, I played Maddie Price, who was CIA, FBI, might have been FBI. I'm not sure. It was a long time ago. But basically, she, for whatever reason, the whole chain of command gets messed up, and she's in charge of this guy who's been brought in for supposedly murdering somebody. And they think that there's some weird stuff going on. They don't understand this guy. So basically, it's me interviewing him while not trying to let him get in my head. I get to die and everything.
Oh, wow.
But it took me...
Oh, you just give it away. I'm not going to watch it.
You'll never see this one anyway.
Oh.
But what happened was we finished it, and I always think I'm going to be better at anything, but it actually wasn't terrible. In fact, the one scene where the shit happens, where he basically puts his hands out, it's a supernatural thing, and I have to go back. I had to go to the chiropractor for 3 days after that.
Oh, wow.
Or I had to go back, and they have a leaf blow in my hair. And when it finished, and like I'm crying and everything, and I look over, and everybody's just like, and I'm looking at John, and John's like,
nice.
is that good? And then what happened was Joey finished it, and with that, even though that never made it out, he was able to show that to somebody to get money to get all names for the next version of it, and shot mansions and shot whatever, and I cast it for him and whatever. But he said to me at one point, I really want to use yours. I said, but you got names and you got whatever, and supposedly he was going to get funding for a series. I don't know whatever was going to happen. But to get to do that was brilliant.
Yeah.
But I understand what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
And I know if I'm not... I know I have to have my lines. I had 6 pages of just complete dialogue. It was all me,
Oh, my
probably
goodness.
even more than 6, because I was never seen. And it was in a completely white studio, and it was just a big white table, and me and this guy who's handcuffed. It's fucking awesome. But, can I say that on this?
Oh, my God!
It was one of the best experiences I had, and it kind of every now and then makes me think I should go back to acting.
Sure.
But I just don't have the time right now, to
it
study.
is. It's a big commitment.
But a really nice role. Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So I'm kind of careful about that. Somebody else wanted me for a lead in a horror film that they did that I could. There was about that one had 6 pages of dialogue. The other one had to be longer.
Wow.
And I had to play this
goodness.
crazy mother, and I just decided that I can't do it. It's going to take me weeks to do it, and I don't have weeks to give up.
Sure.
But.
Yeah, I get it. All right, so we are actually almost out of time here. So
I'm never leaving. I like this. So I'm going to stay here forever.
Works for me. Let's do it. I'm cool with that. I'm here all the time anyway. So what I mentioned before, a lot of times when I bring in guests, I look up mutual friends, and I just throw some
no.
names out there.
Oh, no.
So you might say great person, or you might want to say just keep moving on.
Oh, no.
All right.
Oh, no.
And that's fine. You might not remember who they are or something. It
I
happens
have
to
a
me.
lot of friends that don't actually know who they are. So that could
Right.
be.
That's the thing, right. Facebook friends,
good
but you
saying.
never met them.
Yeah.
I'm great with faces, and I can tell you, well, most of the time, except for your husband, but most of the time I can tell you where I know a face from, but I'm awful with names. But, but we'll try it. We'll try it. Oh, all right. So Travis, we talked enough about him. Chris Roach.
Oh, I love Chris.
Chris is the best.
Yeah, Chris, we got him at the film festival once. He's absolutely friggin' hilarious. I love Chris.
Oh, it's just so funny.
Yeah.
I mentioned Donna Drake.
He done it. Actually got me my first writing job.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, it was. I was sitting at lunch with
Wow.
her and a location manager, and basically I told her, "Hey, I really want to get back into writing," and she goes, "Well, if anybody can do it, you can do it. Why not?" And by the way, I have friends looking for an associate editor, and boom, first writing
I am
job.
not surprised.
Right.
It's amazing how she does that for everybody. Rick Eberly.
Rick has been our PR person at the film festival for
Oh, has he?
probably 10 years now.
Oh, okay.
You know, but yeah, Rick's great.
How many times is he trying to like throw himself in there with his guitar? I'm kidding.
No, never actually.
joking, I'm
But,
joking.
Yeah, I like Rick.
Eddie McGee.
I love Eddie. Is one of my nearest and dearest, and I adore Eddie. And he's been in about 3 of my films so far. And I'm going to call him for this. And we were going to collaborate on a feature film, but then I got caught up with this, and he's going to be doing a play. But it's a very, very sexy film called Hurting Places, where he plays a very damaged psychologist.
Oh.
I love Eddie.
I don't know Eddie well. My wife actually knows him, but I've talked to him a couple of times. But I would love, and in fact, I'm giving you an assignment there,
Okay,
Debra
get Eddie on the
Markowitz.
show.
Well, that too, because
Okay.
I've tried to do that. But I'd like to do a fight scene in a movie with him.
He's phenomenal. Did you see The Angel?
I think so.
Look for the short The Angel. If
Okay.
you can find, I think you can find somewhere online. He was the first amputee to do a complete fight scene using wires, and
Really?
my God.
That definitely rings a bell. I think
So
I have
good.
seen it. But that's exactly why I want to do the fight scene. I want to tear his leg off.
Oh,
But then he can tear mine off.
look at that.
So I think it would be hilarious to have these two
That would be
amputees
cool.
having this fight and like bumping stumps or something, like something outrageous.
He's amazing, and he's so talented.
Yeah, he really is.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. We were in, there was a TV show on Amazon with Al Pacino, which I'll show that picture in a second.
Hunters? And he was in that.
I'm in that scene.
Oh, my
I'm in that
God.
scene with him. I had no lines, but there is a close up of my face in one scene.
Look at that.
But that was the first time I met him in person. I had talked to him other times on the phone and stuff because, like I said, I tried to get him in here. My wife is a physical therapist, so she worked at a place that treated him years ago when he was like a teenager or something. But that was the first time we actually met. Yeah, that was cool. Bob Buckman.
DJ, correct?
Yeah.
I don't actually know him.
Oh, okay. I saw your friends with him on Facebook.
But he was from WLIR. if I remember
WBAB.
correctly. BAB, okay.
Yeah.
But I don't actually know
Okay,
him.
never mind. Dan Perillis.
I don't know him either.
Okay. Fran Frumpkin Griffin.
She's an actress that comes to the film festival. I don't know her that well,
okay.
but
Frankie Folletti. All right, never
oh
mind.
yeah, I can't. He was in a couple of films that.
Yeah, he
I
does some
was
stunt
involved
work,
with.
right?
Yeah,
Frankie?
Frankie's a nice guy.
Yeah, really nice guy. Jackie the Joke Man.
I love Jackie.
So do I. I love Jackie.
He is way funnier in person. than
I
he is
say
in
that
person.
all the time.
Yeah, I cast him a couple of times, and I really want to use him for something again. I adore Jackie.
Yeah.
I really do.
and what's today? The 7th? Well, it's actually the 7th. But his birthday's a week from today. He's on Valentine's Day. It's his birthday. Raven Petretti Stamper. All right, moving on.
I don't know him.
Okay. Robert Skelly.
I know Robert Skelly. He's from one of the
Film festivals. Brooklyn, I think?
Oh, was it Williamsburg?
Yeah, I do believe that's him.
Yeah, I love that film festival, but I think it's on hiatus. But yeah, he was
Oh,
cool.
is it?
Yeah.
Vin DeAngelis. Cameraman? No? Okay. Robert Skelly and Vin, we all went to high school together. And then Lilo.
Oh, yeah, I just met her recently. She came to the film festival a couple of years ago. She was in something. What the hell is she in?
She's always in something.
Yeah,
she's
she read for a
working
part
hard.
in the film I'm doing now. I don't know, but she's lovely.
Yeah, I love her. All right, and then we're just about out of time, but I just want to show these pictures. So there's, so you can tell. So was Ed Bernadick? No, I'm kidding.
No,
I'm kidding.
not at all.
I'm joking. He's a Long Islander.
He's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. He's awesome, actually.
That was at Armand's house, by the way.
This one?
Yeah.
You're at Armand's house?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Ooh.
No.
Well, that's exactly why I picked to show this, because he's my mother's favorite, so my mother will flip when she sees this.
Yeah, we're considering him for a part in the future.
Really?
I love him. He is such a good person.
Is he? Yeah.
He was involved with a film festival in New Jersey, and he saw one of the trailers for my movie, and he sent me an email. He said, "Can I see the whole film?" And I sent it to him, and he gave me such a beautiful write-up for. You can see their heart is right where the director is. And
Wow.
And I put it on my website because I was so impressed by it. But yeah, he's a lovely man.
Did you ever wonder, like, is this really him emailing me? Did you think somebody was...
No, because I met him.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's wild. Now, I've heard this man is fantastic,
He is
too.
sweet. I only met him on set, but he is absolutely lovely. When
Yeah.
they were doing, not Blue, what was that? Oh, what was that show he was in? I never watched it, but White Collar.
Oh,
White Collar? Maybe?
I've never heard of it.
No, it's not. It's not. It's the doctor show, but I can't remember the name.
Oh, you got me.
Yeah, crap. It'll come out later.
And then, of course, his last
Al
picture.
Pacino.
Yeah, what was that about?
That was from Phil Spector. That's another thing. I had to pull all kinds of strings and whatever to get them to film at the was it Supreme Court, I think. So it was just putting everything together for that. And he came out and we had a lovely chat. And then everybody got out of their cars and we got swamped by pepper. So he ran into his trailer. I'm like, you fuckers! We're having a great conversation. But you bastages!
Fartigan bastards!
Yes.
Fartigan assholes! One of the best movies ever.
It's a way you can not get kicked off Facebook by saying "farting ice."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's and I guess like that was you working for the county, and I'm assuming you're like, oh, I have to go to the set of that one just to make sure.
I didn't always go to sets because honestly I was too busy.
Al Pacino's there. I'm going.
Yeah, and they invited me because I set up the whole thing. I played Al wants to meet you and whatever, and that was really cool. So.
Okay. Wow, that's great. I'm very jealous. Wow. All right, so we are at it. Yeah, we're good. We're just about good to go. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about or promote or anything? Anything I missed?
Well, the only thing a couple of guys obviously are always looking for funders and producers and that kind of thing. And Waitlist, the feature. I don't know how we're getting this done, but we're going to figure it out because I always do. But I'm going to be putting up something on my site in the next couple of days. Trying to raise money to get the feature done. And I'd rather get it done sooner than later.
Sure.
And so I'm so excited by that movie because it just tugs at your heartstrings, and that's the kind of stuff I love.
Nice, very nice. So what's the best way to find you then if they want to, like Instagram or Facebook or something, or the website?
Instagram is at Debra Markowitz Film. At Instagram, Facebook is Debra Markowitz, writer-director. I don't really take a lot of new friends because I'm just trying to get rid of people. My thread is 5 million long, and Facebook keeps adding people on me. But also my website is intentionfilmsandmedia.com.
Intentionfilmsandmedia.com.
So I think it's fairly up to date, other than the fundraiser stuff I have to put up for Waitlist, but it's going to be cool, and we're going to add the names as I get them, cemented in there. So I'm excited about that.
Excellent. All right, let's do this again sometime, huh?
I love this.
Yeah,
yes.
that would be fun. And my apologies, I should have thought to even say bring John with you. I don't know if he's at school, right? But we'll have to do it again and try and get him in here at some point too. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Debra Markowitz, ladies and gentlemen, this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for coming today. That means a lot. All right, we're out of here today. Well, today's Thursday. What's on? Oh, we got nothing on tonight. See, I'm all mixed up. Friday. Tomorrow is Friday. Laura Patton will be in here with me, and Andy Pajanos, of course, and I think Conversations might be on tomorrow night. Friday night, I think. And that is it. We are out of here. Don't forget, govs.com. Who's playing the club this weekend? Joe Matarese, Mike Keegan, Carla Okeson, Tommy Gooch, Irene Bremis, Joe Curry. Some of the names you'll see on the Governor stage this weekend. So go to govs.com and make your reservations. Check out their full schedule. All right, we're out of here. We'll see you guys later.
What will you experience at a Knockem Dead Comedy Murder Mystery Show? Suspense, excitement, love, more love, violence. Well, not really. And, of course, some music. Knockem Dead Comedy is the #1 murder mystery troupe, entertaining thousands of people for over 20 years.
You have a great night or what? Absolutely. Good.
Their hilarious murder mystery shows are full of audience interaction from beginning to end that will keep you laughing all night long. Their shows are not to be missed. Knockem Dead Comedy's murder mystery themes include a mob show, a redneck wedding, a high school reunion, a family reunion with a luau theme, or your own custom show.
Johnny, you have a good time tonight or what?
Had an awesome time.
All right. You had a great time. KDC, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, all right.
Fundraisers, private parties, corporate events, restaurants, and more. Contact Knockem